what constitutes a disaster in terms of our ERP, in terms of compliance with the recommendations of the committee. If I recall, the recommendation of the committee was that we should comply with the Auditor General's report, firstly to pursue the 200 million that was been indicated to be missing. And in order for us to pursue that 200 million, we were supposed to re-engage Quill Associates or BIQ so that they could pursue the 200 million, and also for ours sake, because our billing has completely collapsed since we left the BIQ and adopted a company called Sage. So to our surprise and to the consternation of Council did make the resolutions in agreement with the Auditor General's report and the recommendations thereat. I should say up to date, we have failed to reinstate BIQ for one reason or the other. Part of it is part of our staff, who was the heading the IT department, who eventually had to leave us. But the problem is not left. We have still not re-engaged them. There is a determined effort for us not to pursue that 200 million as was reported missing. And unfortunately, this effort has spread to PRAS, which is a director called Ruswa. He has persistently written to us, giving one reason or the other for us not to adopt the BIQ to pursue the 200 million as reported in the Auditor General's report and as reported in the Parliamentary Committee report. As such, we are stuck with Sage system, which is done by CCG. And unbeknown to us, someone gave them a contract for 1 year, which is renewable for 2 years, and is renewable every year thereafter in perpetuity without end. We only discovered it when they took us to court, when we had done a contract with BIQ and we were seeking condonation from PRAS. Then PRAS indicated that they were not going to condone our seeking of the BIQ because we had a contract with CCG, which contract we did not know about, and also we many other reasons. They were threatening us of many criminal offenses as to why we could not continue as directed by the Auditor General and Parliamentary Accounts Committee. So it is our firm belief that within our system and the PRAS system, there is a calculated effort not to make sure that we don't re-engage the BIQ to pursue the money that is missing, and also to bring order to our accounts. The Sage system that we are operating on, as they took us to court last week, we lost, I was being told, we lost 3,000 transactions that had happened during the course of that day. I don't know if they've been recovered. The accountants, the IT department will tell us. But they've written us a letter and they've asked us to go to the ministry to be assisted in acquiring these issues. Our budget last year was declined because we did not have an effective ERP system. And we are now starting another budgetary cycle, and we don't still have another ERP system. But we as councillors, we have done everything that we could, including holding so many councils. But the corruption and the malfeasance around this issue of ERP is so deep that even us, the council, have come to a point where we are going to admit that we have completely been unable to convince PRAS, to convince our secretariat to simply comply with what the Parliamentary Committee has suggested, what the Auditor General suggested, and what the Ministry suggested, and also what the 10-point action plan which was issued by the President suggested. So what we have is a malfunctioning system that we are being told is not satisfactory, but yet again we have not been able to contract as directed by the Parliamentary Committee to get and the Auditor General to get a new system. So that is where we are, and we are worried that we will not be able to pass our budget this time around if we don't have an effective ERP system.
When you came before Parliament, the town clerk confirmed that you now had an ERP system that we came to inspect. Because as the Public Accounts Committee, our mandate is limited to the findings of the Auditor General. And the Auditor General, in her last report, the 2022 report, discovered that in this department, this is where people were bringing point-of-sale machines from home, collecting money, and as a result, when she was auditing her books, $200 million could not be accounted for. And when you came before the 9th Parliament, we agreed that because of the contractual issues that were between the City of Harare and the BIQ, who also appeared before Parliament, that for the purposes of assisting the Auditor General to account for the $200 million, you needed to engage BIQ on a short-term basis for the purposes of connecting the system so that the Auditor General can discover what happened to the $200 million. And that is the recommendation that came from the 9th Parliament. That is the recommendation we discussed with your management when you came to Parliament, because we're following up on that issue. And that is the reason why we resolved that we must come here for you to show us the progress that you are making as far as assisting the Auditor General to look for the 200 million. But to our surprise, there is no ERP here. This ERP that you have is outside our mandate, unfortunately, because we don't deal with the current issues. We don't interfere with who you give your ERP systems, but we are here for the purposes of the $200 million. That requires the previous vendor to reconnect his system so that the Auditor General can finish his report. So why did you waste our time, Mr. ICT Manager, calling us here when you know that there is no work for us? Because these MPs are supposed to be doing something else.
The re-engagement, as recommended by the Auditor General, was indeed done as per council resolution, which was resolved by the City of Harare Full Council, where we were instructed to re-engage BIQ, which was then done through the appropriate offices, where we then re-engaged BIQ and signed a contract with Quill Associates, who are the vendors for BIQ. This was done. They came on site, and they did all the configurations for restoration of the BIQ system, which was done. And after that restoration, there were contractual issues which were supposed to be met, whereby they were supposed to be paid for the work that they had done, which unfortunately was not done. And they then said they were going to take a break from the installation until their payments were done. After
and how much are they supposed to pay?
This is about $211,000, which was supposed to be paid to Quill Associates for the work that they had done for the
Do you understand that we are looking for $200 million? Then you tell us that you can't pay $200,000 for us to get $200 million. You understand what
that again is the answer for the finance director. We are the technical implementer. We implement the technical side of things, and then the financial side is only done by the finance director.
But we can't have this issue is now more than 2 years. Where is the finance director? Go away. And who is going to respond? Are you going to respond on this behalf?
I think it would be best if he had responded himself.
But where is he? He's not working today? No. And where is the town clerk?
Maybe here just to give you an insight.
Where is the town clerk first? hold on. We are going to, where's the town clerk? There's no town clerk. There's no finance manager.
Finance director.
There's no finance director. Huh? Mayor, where are your people?
They were supposed to be here. They sent their people. Actually, they are the ones who gave me the program to be here. I have been with you all this time. Because I'm a ceremonial mayor, maybe.
But it's unacceptable. The money that we are looking for here, 200 million US dollars.
Program coordinator has to zero.
Where is the program coordinator? Where is the town clerk? I mean, where? And what about Mr. Kusangai? Why? But you could have told us not to come because you are wasting Parliament's money. So, you don't have the system that you are supposed to see. The people that are supposed to talk to us are not here. You see? Because this 200 million, it went missing here. You know? And this is the reason why you are avoiding us. When you came to Parliament, you told us a different story. Now we come here, there's nothing that you are going to show us today, nothing to show. Even your bosses are not here. I think we need to be serious with our work. But anyway, unfortunately, Mr. This contract that you have is within your right. It's not what we are looking for. We are looking for the $200 million that is in the Auditor General's report.
So, but just to maybe shed light into that, you will find that the implementation of or the restoration of the system is per your instructions was indeed done. So what we are only waiting for now,
but you didn't pay them.
The issue of the payment.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. How do you pay people?
Was the restoration done?
He said it was done, but
is it working now?
The system is there.
Did you find the 200 million?
Well, I mean, we can only find it after the payment has been done.
Precisely.
When are you going to pay them? Or you pay them half?
I think that's for the finance people to
I think
Mr. Finance.
I think there's a problem that is not coming out. I think like what the mayor had, earlier on highlighted, there are issues to do with the contract. The contract,
Not the payment.
not the payment. The contract.
Let's have one. I know you are not under oath, but you have an
But you should
obligation.
finish the way we are at. Can you finish? You see, what is happening here is that we then entered into a contract with the BIQ. And then we sent the contract as we are required by law. Because an accounting officer, I'm advised, can enter into a contract and then seek condonation from PRAS. When we went to seek condonation from PRAS for the contract, citing the reasons of the Auditor General, Parliamentary Committee, the President's Section Plan, and the refusal of and the conditional agreement to our budget by the Ministry, those reasons were still not good enough for Mr. Ruswa, who sits at the procurement board. We have taken the extraordinary effort to meet him twice as council together with the accounting officers. But surprisingly, that condonation was not granted. To compound matters worse, we then found out that the accounting officers you are talking about had entered into another contract, including the IT department with CCG Sage, which contract seems to purport to allow them to continue for 2 years and yearly thereafter in perpetuity. A very peculiar contract, which then was used to take us to court for engaging BIQ and was also used by PRAS to prevent us from looking for that 200 million. So we believe that there is a deliberate effort within our system and the system at PRAS to prevent us from looking or complying with the dictates of the Parliamentary Committee, the Auditor General. So it's deliberate.
That's correct.
Yeah, there are people that work here. Yes, who came to Parliament and made a commitment that things are moving here. But anyway, as you can see, we can't proceed with this verification visit because there's nothing to verify.